Hi everybody, this is John with Victory CNC Works, and I just wanted to make a quick video of my process on when a customer sends me something and they want it turned into a plasma cut sign. I see a lot of stuff on the forums and Facebook pages, and people are just confused on how to do it. It's really simple. It takes time to get good at it, but just like anything, you got to put the hours in. And I just want to show you how I use Adobe Illustrator as a tool to get me there much easier than any other way that I've found. I've dealt with Inkscape. Inkscape is a free program. It's a great program. I'm just not a huge fan on how it operates. I'd rather pay the $20 a month for Illustrator, and I think it's a great tool. It's more than worth it. And I can output all sorts of different file formats, SVGs, DXFs. I can input stuff from, for example, Fusion 360. I can input stuff in here. It's much easier to design in Adobe Illustrator than it is in Fusion 360 because you have it's more for graphic design, so you have that freedom that that CAD program can't give you. But anyways, let's get to it. Here, we're going to open up a new file. These are artboards that I have. So these are default artboards that you can set up. And what I use the artboard for is I use it as my table boundary. So we have two different CNCs. I have a 2x2 wood router CNC. That's this artboard. And I also have a Langmuir Crossfire Pro that I've had for like 3 years now. It's 48 by 33 is the cutting area. So when I create an artboard, when I create designs, I know that it's got to be within this envelope to fit on my table. Otherwise, I got to do indexing. So anyways, once you open a new file, we're going to drag an image in. I'm going to use a customer that I've had recently here. You go File, Place. We're going to go down to the downloads here. And for this purpose here, we're going to pull in a JPG. Once you place it in there, as you can see, it's pretty small. Now, it not being a vector file, you don't want to upsize it. You know, customer wants this sign 28 inches in diameter. Right now we're at 3.8 inches. So the first thing we need to do, actually, I'm going to delete that because that is not a good looking image. She sent me also a PNG. Here's the PNG. We're going to place that. Oh, that's much better. You want to try to get the clearest image you can in order to turn it into a vector. Once you bring the image in, select it, we're going to do an image trace. Now the best thing that I've found for presets are silhouettes. When you click on the silhouette, it's going to come up like this, and as you can see, everything kind of got mushed in a little bit, but that's okay, we can adjust it. Here you have an advanced menu, you have this threshold slider and an advanced menu. So here we're going to, let's see, I'm going to turn this down here. And you can play with these until you're happy. Noise, I like to turn the noise all the way down. And corners, we like a little more corners. That's going to crisp it up a little bit. And the paths, we're going to go a little bit higher. And as you can see, we're doing pretty good here. We got the inside of the E's are looking good. These are looking good. And it's okay if it's a little rough here and there. It can be smoothed out fairly easy. Overall, I'm fairly happy with this. Let's see, maybe we'll go just a little bit less. No, I think I'm okay with this. So once you're done with this, you can close out this image trace panel, and we're going to hit expand, and bam! Here you've turned a JPG into an SVG in a matter of like 3 minutes, right? So now all we have to do is make this into a good file for plasma cutting. So the first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to make it the size the customer wants it. You can go right over here. This button right here will maintain proportions for you. So when you type in the one, this is pretty even. So we're going to just type in 28 inches. That's what they wanted at. And as you can see, I have the good reference of my plasma table there in the background. So once you have this, your next step is we're going to turn the stroke on, and the stroke is going to give it lines. And we're going to want this to be a white fill. And then we're going to create another circle. You go over here into the ellipse tool, drag out a circle. We're going to make it the same exact 28 inches. And then we're going to arrange it. We're going to put it in the back behind the other one, and I'm going to change the color to black. And this is how I get to picture how things are going to get cut out. Now when you select both the things, as long as this is all grouped into one group, you're good. If you select both of these, you can go over to this alignment panel and just really easy center and center. And then here we are, we have a good alignment. And I can see here on 28 inches isn't going to quite cut it. She wants it to be total. I need to shrink it down a little bit to get this second line in here properly. So I'm going to click it so that it's selecting the back panel, and or no, the front panel is what we want. And I'm going to turn this down to like 26 inches, give it a couple inches on the outside. That's probably too much. Let's do 27. Here we go. That's looking pretty good and very similar to the picture she sent me. So once we do that, we're going to select everything, and we're going to use this Pathfinder tool here, and we're going to minus front. Now that's why we turned everything white and we moved it to the front, and then that black circle that we created, we put that in the back. Now when I hit this button, it makes it one file. It's not stacked anymore. It's all together and it's grouped. And as you can see, when I drag it off the artboard, I have here something that looks very similar to a plasma cut sign. Now the only thing left to do is to bridge these letters the way that you like to. Bridge these areas here, and I will walk you through all of that. Alright, let's talk about bridging letters now. So what I like to do, these letters are a little different. They have this line in here, so we're going to have to do a little funky work to make it work right, but I think we can do it. What I like to do is I come over here, I start with a rectangle tool, and I just drag out a rectangle, and I just try to picture what's going to be thick enough to hold everything in place. This looks fairly good. I'm happy with it. Click off of it. Yeah, I'd say that looks good. Here I'm going to copy this, so we're just going to do this, copy, and then if you hit Command V, you can paste. And this is going to keep all my bridges about the same width. So I can just arrange this one where that looks good. Arrange this one where that looks good. And we're going to arrange this one where that looks good. Because if we don't do this, everything falls out of the middle, right? So there's that. Now to address these situations here, the thin insides of the letters, we're going to make another rectangle. We want to kind of make it the same width as the other line there. Now this is creative work. This is not like dealing with CAD proportions where everything's got to be exact, so don't criticize me too much on this. And we're going to do the same thing. So I have this here. I'm going to copy this. Oop. Copy. Oop. Did it again. Copy that. And now, what am I doing? Here we go. We're going to copy that, and then we're going to paste that. So here I have this, and I'm just going to align these throughout the drawing to make it everything connected and looking good here. And what you want is when you draw these bridges, you want to make sure that you're extended over into the main part of the sign. That's when we do the joining tool. That's what's going to do that. If you have two that are across from each other, it's real simple. If you select both of them, you can come over here and hit vertical align, and it's going to line them right up. If you want to do that, I'm just kind of lining everything up to the bottom of the tip that's on here. Paste again, and we're gonna line these up here. And obviously, like, you could have drawn one thing across, but this is just how I do it. Could be different the next time I do it. We're gonna do all the straight ones first. That's good there. This D, we're going to give it a little extra support. We're going to put a line across here. S is a little different. So when you click on, when you paste that, you can hit the R button. It puts it into rotate, and then you can select it again. Put it, hit the V button. That's your main selection tool. And now we're gonna copy this one and paste it, and we're gonna put the same exact thing down there. Kind of give everything a look, so it looks a little different, and we'll check with the customer to make sure that they like it before, obviously. This we're gonna rotate again, up and down this time. Put your main selection tool on, and we're gonna put it right at the end. And who knows, maybe they'll hate it. If they do, we'll fix it. There's no perfect one way to do anything, that's for sure. This is the angle tool up here. You can get perfect angles that way, if you're looking for that. So we're gonna go there. For me, I think this is gonna keep kind of what everything's looking like. We can copy this for the P as well, so that, and the R. That'll keep that inside ring nice, and everything's kind of uniform and the same here, right? So that part's good. So now, because everything's joined up, all we got to do is select again. And this is what I love about Adobe. Very simply, you can see how everything's overlapped into the main area of the sign. We're going to go over here to Unite, and boom, now we're united. And when you zoom in, you can see that the sign flows everywhere that it's supposed to. And there's still some work to do to make it look good, but we're all connected. Now, that's how I do big letters and stuff. When it comes to cursive, it's a little bit different. You got to make sure this is a pretty good distance here and here for bridging. I'm not worried about the P, but obviously this is going to fall out, right? And this is where the pen tool comes in. A couple tools, actually. We're going to start with the pen tool. We have to connect it. I like to connect things kind of how they would flow, right? So I'm gonna pretend like this is coming up here, and it doesn't have to be perfect, because we can very easily smooth it out in an Illustrator, right? So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna copy that and paste it, and we're gonna do this because it's the same letter here. And if you click off, you can kind of see, okay, that's gotta get smoothed out a little bit, but that's okay. You can drag them around. We're gonna go back to the pen tool. We're gonna fix this A. And this is just how I bridge letters. Everybody's a little different, and that's fine. I can see that this is in here. And you'll see there's some stuff that is in there that came over from the vector trace, and that's fine. I'm gonna leave it in for now until we get everything bridged, and then we'll get it out of there. Back to the pen tool, we're gonna draw this. That's looking good. There's another A. I could go back and copy the last one I did, but I'm just gonna wing it. If you want to move it, this is a direct selection tool right under your main selection tool here. So when you click on this, I can select certain specific nodes. We can drag them out. And again, don't worry that it's kind of blocky. We're gonna fix that too. So I'm happy with that. Not super happy with the way these look though. We're gonna have to change that. But we'll work on that. But anyways, let's get back to this, because this is just an informational video. We're going to select everything again and do the bridge. Do click to unite. That bridges everything. Now again, we're back to drag it off the artboard. You can see just what it's going to look like when it gets cut out, right? So as you can see, and I'll just show you guys real quick how we smooth everything out. I have a quick selection tool, or I made a shortcut for it. It's called smoothing. Ooh, here it is, the smooth tool, right? I have it set to my 1 key so I can quickly switch into it. But if you do the selection, and here we're gonna just smooth these out, and you'll see how nice this is. And this is why I love Adobe. We're just gonna smooth, smooth, smooth. We're gonna get rid of all those crappy lines. Select it again. Go back to your smooth tool. It's very artisty. It's very free form. Oh, there's a bridge I need to do. Go back to our pen tool. Right. And if I select the back part of the sign and I do the, we can click on them again and do unite, and you can see how quickly that is. And again, we're just gonna smooth it out. Looks pretty good. Smooth that mess out. Smooth this A out. And there's a lot of other tools in here. Like, the functionality is way greater than any other. It's meant to do a lot more as far as graphic design is concerned. But here you have it. Very simple. I'll do a little more work on this outside of the video, and I'll show you where we got. I just want to clean these letters up a little bit. But and I'll come back once I finish that. I'll come back and we'll finish it and go through the process of exporting for you. We'll be right back. As you can see, I finished doing the work on the sign. I got these letters cleaned up. Actually, what I did was rewrite them in a font that was close and put them in there. If you guys are interested, I can do a future video on how to do that. And you can see when you come in here, all these letters are bridged. They're looking good. We like that. We came up here. We fixed this pepperoni. Kind of had to do some creative stuff here to make it look good. Again, with the owl, had to come up here. And it's all, everybody's going to do it a little bit different, but this is just how we made it work. Keep the image as close as possible to what the customer sent. Obviously, we need some hang holes, so we got some hang holes on the outside here. And from the original image, we can see how good we got here. So from the original image, you can see how we went from this, everything was going to be unconnected, coming into here, right in Illustrator, and it took, you know, less than 30 minutes total to take care of all this. You got the cheese dripping off the pizza. That looks good. Overall, I'm very happy with this. I have sent this to the customer, and they did approve it. They like the way the letters look, and they're happy for it. They're waiting for it. They want to put it up on their wall, and every time I look at it, all I can think of is pizza. So I'm getting hungry. But otherwise, I want to walk you guys through how to export this into whatever program. I use sheetcam, so we're going to do that. So here, save it however you decide you're going to save it. I save everything into the cloud into Adobe, so it's there wherever I need it. We're going to, very simply, we're going to go File, Export, and Export As. And from there, you want to select what format you're going to put it out. You could put it out as an SVG. You could put it out as, here's SVG, here's DXF. If you want to send a picture to your customer, you can just, you know, do a JPEG, and that will send a picture to the customer of what it's going to look like. Either that or do a screenshot. I can do that too. Depending on if you're using Windows or Mac, the process is a little different. But we want a DXF as far as what I'm concerned, so I'm going to do DXF. We're going to do Parkside logo PNG, and we're going to hit export. Actually, this is going to go in the right folder. I have a folder where everything goes, so we're just going to throw that out. Now, this is important. You can change, this can all change. I keep this as current as possible, and we want the scale to be 1 to 1 inches. So this is going to translate our exact dimensions we put in here out into into sheetcam, it's going to be the exact same size, right? So we want 1 to 1. This, I don't really think it makes too much of a difference, and we want preserve appearance. So we're going to hit OK, and it's exported. So from here we can switch over into, ooh, we got V-carve up here. We're going to get rid of that, and we're going to go into sheetcam. So here's sheetcam. And just in case I'm going to reload this, I use parallels because I use a MacBook. So we're going to open up sheetcam. Alright, and again, here's this table background. There are pretty good resources on how to set up sheetcam as far as Langmuir tables go. Mine's set up. I have some different tools here set up, ready to go for different thicknesses that we cut. So here I'm going to import the file we just created, Parkside logo. We're going to open that. We bring it in. I like to bring it into 0 and 0. I want to make sure it's 1 inch. You shouldn't have to worry about this scaling. And you're in here. Now, here we can double check. We want it to be roughly 28 inches, right? Here's 27.5, and it's a little bigger, so it means it came over the way it was supposed to. And if we really zoom in, 28 inches, here you go. So we're going to zoom out here. And I have all my settings. We're going to cut this out of 16 gauge steel. This is the jet cutting operation. We do not want an outside, we want an inside offset. Here's all that. These are just specific settings that I have. Yours might be different. And we just need to... There we go. Ooh, we do want an outside offset. Here we go. So we'll do outside offset. There we go. And you can see where the cut lines are, where your ins and outs are. I like to do kind of an arc in and an arc out. I find it makes the pieces fall out easier. This isn't a sheetcam tutorial, so I'm not going to run through that, and I am by no means an expert. So, there's a little funky line there. You can see that. I missed that on the original drawing. So I'll go back and I'll fix this so that's nice and smooth. We don't have to worry about that. Otherwise, it's looking good, and we're just going to output to our table. So, Parkside logo, PNG, into G-code, and save. And we're done. Anyways, I want to thank you guys. This is my first video that I've ever done, so be kind. Otherwise, if you guys are looking for other stuff, I'm not an expert at anything, by all means, like I said before, but I am happy to share what I do know, because it does work for me. And if it can work for other people, I think that's what's important, you know. Add some more information to the game that's more specific. I had to learn this stuff kind of dealing with people. I looked up videos where people were doing it with laser images and things like that, and that's where I learned to do it. But I figured I'd make one that was specific for plasma cutting, and if this works for you, give me a like, and I appreciate it. Have a great day, guys.